everybody. So let's talk. I've been posting videos about, Trudeau and the upcoming leadership of the Conservative Party hopeful, Mr. Pierre Poilievre. And it's got a lot of good, healthy discussion in the comments, and it's been great. But here's something that I feel like I need to just put out there. This is obviously going to be mostly relevant to my Canadian viewers, but I know a lot of you south of the border are keenly interested in this topic as well. So I don't hide it. I lean right of center politically. I consider myself a little more libertarian in ways. I believe in limited government, less government, more freedom. That's just the way it is. Pierre has been making waves with a lot of right of center folks. And that's great. A lot of people were complaining that the previous two leaders of the Conservative Party were not right enough. However, that's also been their downfall. And this is going to be a tough pill for a lot of you to swallow, especially a lot of people who are, I don't like using the words alt-right or hard-right or far-right because I don't believe that's the case. I believe most of us, including myself, are center-right. We're moderate on a lot of issues and a little bit to the right on a lot of issues. And that's how I see Pierre as being. He's just what we need, a good balance that this country needs. He's not far-right, he's not far-left. He's just what we need. The problem is how the general populace sees him. And I mean the voting blocks that matter. And in this country, the way that our electoral system is divided up, the ridings to vote for your candidates are so disproportionate to the size of this country. And it doesn't matter if everyone in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, if everyone and their dogs and their cats all voted for Pierre, he still wouldn't win the election if the people that live in the downtown Toronto 905 vote for Trudeau. And this is why the leaders of conservative parties have to, they absolutely have to, without question, they have to appeal to some of those voters and Quebec voters as well. And here's the thing, Pierre at his speeches talking about freedom and liberty and shrinking the size of government, that all sounds great. That's exactly what we want, right? But if he wins leadership of the Conservative Party, and then that would mean that he's going to run in the next election against Trudeau, he has to move some of the policies to the center. He has to. And a lot of you are going to go, see, he's just flip-flopping. Yeah, you see, he's just a liberal. He's liberal light. Now, this is what happened the last two times. You don't understand, guys. It's not mathematically possible to win an election in this country without those voters in Toronto and Quebec. End of discussion. And what Pierre is saying to us right now, the things he's saying up on those stages and getting the crowds going, those things are not going to win the votes of the people who live in the Toronto 905 in Quebec. They're not. Those things are not even on those people's agendas. And a lot of you start talking about things like the WEF and all that, and I'm right on board with that. We have to be careful of all that. Now, I already put up the videos of Pierre, or I put up 2 or 3 of them, clips of him denouncing the WEF. He goes against what they want. He is not a member or anything like that. There's rumors that he was on their website or whatever at one point. Big deal. He didn't actually go to a meeting. Maxime Bernier from another fringe party, PPC, he actually went to a WEF meeting in Davos. Now he's trying to distance himself from that too. But the point is, just because of something like that doesn't mean somebody is an indoctrinated, servant to Mr. Klaus Schwab. All right. Just because somebody went to a meeting at the United Nations does not mean that they're a card-carrying member of Agenda 30. Just because I went to a high school which was also attended by people who are now corrupt politicians does not mean that I agree with their policies or with what the school thinks. Okay? So that's just a stupid argument right off the bat. He's not part of the WEF, and he's already said it more than once. He should only have to say it once, but the problem is people always want reassurance. They need him to say it every day or they'll never believe him, and I think that's dangerous. He's already said it. It's on record. Don't ask for him to say it again, because it's just going to fan the flames of people on the other side who want to label him as some crackpot right-wing conspiracy theorist and all the rest of this. So he better just shut up on the subject. He's already made his statement against the WEF. Leave it alone. He said it enough. Okay, that's the last election. Aaron O'Toole, leader of the Conservative Party, he was standing up for us firearms owners. And he very smartly, politically very smart, he was going to repeal what the Liberal government is trying to put in right now, some new gun control regulations. He was going to repeal that. And a lot of people did not understand what he was doing. I don't know how they can be this, I hate to say it's stupid, but they claim that he flip-flopped on the issue. He did not. He did nothing of the sort. I'm a member, a card-carrying member of the CCFR, the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights, as well as 2 other firearm advocacy groups here in Canada. And they were all very clear on this, trying to educate people too on what Aaron O'Toole's position was and what he meant by what he said. He never, ever was going to go back on anything he said. He very smartly worded it in a way. Let me put it this way. Trudeau wants to ban what he calls assault rifles. In other words, rifles that are painted black and look scary, but they're really just gopher guns. So he's talking about some semi-automatics, not all, but some of them. And Aaron O'Toole very smartly said he would not repeal the assault rifle ban. What Aaron was talking about was the actual assault rifle ban from the 1970s. We're talking full automatics. It had nothing to do with the current gun debate going on. But of course, I hate to say it, but my fellow gun-owning idiots kept screaming, oh, look, he's flip-flopping, he's coming after our guns, blah, 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 blah. And they just ruined it. They kept demanding that Aaron make a statement, or, every day they wanted more confirmation and reassurance that he wasn't going to change his mind and come after their guns. And because they put all this pressure on him, it became a big media story, of course. And I'm sorry, but gun owners, they just shot themselves in the foot. They should have left it alone and shut the hell up on the issue. But that's another story. But you see, I'm seeing that already now again. Pierre has already very clearly stated how he is against the WEF and he does not support their agendas in any way. He doesn't need to say it again. You don't need to hear it every day. You don't need to hear it next week and the week after that, the week after that. He's already said it. It's on record. He said it in Parliament and he said it on private interviews. Enough is enough. Shut up about the subject. If you don't believe him, that's fine. You can say you're an anarchist and you just don't believe any politicians. That's fine. You're welcome to that opinion as well. But we need to vote for somebody who can remove Trudeau. Only one party can do that. You can whine and complain about that all you want, but if you vote for the Libertarian Party or the Green Party or the PPC or anyone else, you are not going to remove Trudeau. You are going to help Trudeau. That's all there is to it. You cannot get everyone else to vote for the little guy that you wish they would vote for. It's hard enough to get enough people to vote just for the Conservatives, okay? And we need those centrist swing voters in Toronto and Quebec, the ones that sometimes vote Liberal, sometimes vote Conservative. So if your guy, the leader of the party you like, let's say it's the PPC, or let's say it's the Conservatives, you have to make sure your leader of that party can appeal to some of those folks that actually vote for Trudeau. You need to get them on your side. Yes, numbers don't matter as much as ridings. Here in Canada, the Conservatives won more votes than the Liberals. The last 2 elections, they got the popular vote. But it doesn't matter, because what matters is the ridings. And most of the ridings are in those urban centers where you've got the centrist voters. So you have to get them to vote for you. So, as I was saying before, if Pierre wins leadership, I hope he does. If he wins leadership, he has to move some policies to the center. He has to start talking to relate to those voters as well, not just you and me and people watching my channel. And then a bunch of you are going to get upset and you're going to call him liberal light. You're going to call him a sellout. You're going to call him a flip-flopper. I'm already predicting this future. It's going to happen. But you got to understand it's necessary. There's no 2 ways about it. The only other solution is Wexit, maybe? The Western provinces separate from Canada? I mean, so please, guys, if you're here in Canada, and you're going to get politically active with who's going to become leader of the Conservative Party, you're going to vote on that soon, keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind, that he is saying all the right things to us right now, but he also has to say some things to the other crowd who would normally not vote for Conservatives. It's demographically and mathematically necessary if you want to remove Trudeau. So if you don't like that, you don't like the fact some things are going to have to go to the center, and it's not going to be we're never going to have big change overnight in this country. It might take a few election cycles before we can get to the real leader we want in this country. So be it. It's not going to happen overnight. And if you don't like that, and you want to vote for your conscience, I love it when people say that to make themselves feel good online and look good, right? I'm voting for my conscience. This guy says everything I believe in, even though my vote's just going to go to the Liberal Party if I do that. Hey, if you like to shoot yourself in the foot, go for it. If a politician says all the things that I agree with, and his party and his platform is exactly what I think is needed for this country, I still won't vote for them if they've actually got no chance of beating Trudeau. And unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of the smaller parties. All you're going to do is give the Liberals a better chance to win again. So you gotta be smart about this, guys and girls, and all the other genders. If you don't like that, you don't like my opinion, that's fine. You're free to disagree. But what I'm saying is accurate. And you saw it the last 2 election cycles, and you're going to see it again this time if we don't smarten up.